People crash out every day. They have this outburst like, I'm saying hi, nobody's talking to me. Who wants to talk about the Okpanzobo woman that was at Sokoto hostel back then? Like, it's fine to talk about it one time and everybody laughs and relieves memories. But then it becomes a recurring thing.
Yes, and then you come on a Monday morning. Or, random on a weekday when people
SS2B fallout and nobody answers you because these people are probably at work, at conferences, they are attending to one thing or the other, building their businesses. You're expecting them to come back to the WhatsApp group to come and answer SS2B. And then you begin to crash out and say, so you feel isolated because at that point you do not have anything you're doing, you're bored, you feel lonely, you feel tired.
Just wake up and shine. This is your time to shine. Hands up, take your moment. This is your season to shine.
Welcome to our channel. On today's episode, we'll be talking about aging and maturing. According to Luke 2:52, there are 4 essential aspects of growth. 1 is wisdom, 2 stature, 3 favor with God, and 4 favor with man.
Yes, when we talk about wisdom, we talk about the things you learn as the years go by, the mistakes you made, the mistakes you make, the lessons you learn from them. It's expected that every year you make decisions and you learn from those decisions. Some of the decisions are good, some are bad, right? So the ones that are good, you have good results, you make good progress, and so from there you have learned something good. So you're going to repeat them the following year, right? Because it's a wisdom you've hacked, it's a hack you have, you found a hack, you probably keep it for yourself and teach others. And then there are some decisions that we make too that are bad, and then we suffer the consequences. So from those ones are lessons, right? So if you make a bad decision and then there are consequences, you have learned something that doesn't work. So it becomes a lesson that you teach others as well, and then you apply to your own life. So that is wisdom. So it's expected that every year you grow, you mature in wisdom. So today you're celebrating your probably 20th birthday. What happens as you make decisions through that year? Every decision you made that year, everything you've done, everything you've practiced, is something that are things that you should learn from.
Yes, I remember when we were younger, there was a time, and I think it was our birthday, and we made so much fuss about it. We had the cake and all, and our youth pastor there, do you remember? He said, "What has changed? What is so special about the birthday?" I think then we were younger and we couldn't tell exactly what he meant.
Yes.
We didn't understand it. We didn't make meaning to it. As a matter of fact, we were offended. We felt, what does it mean? We shouldn't celebrate. But now, getting older and wiser, we know that it's not just about aging. It's not about adding
Numbers.
Yes. As you grow older, you're expected to also grow in wisdom and other aspects.
Yes.
So that brings us to growing in stature.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, growing in stature, I think it means, the physical outlook or general well-being. As you're growing in age, it's expected that you also, apart from growing physically, height and other, biological aspects, you're expected to also be intentional about growth year after year.
Yes.
You can no longer remain as you were some years back. You can no longer eat, the kind of food you just eat, or take the kind of things. As you grow older, you become more intentional with what you put in, because you know that they affect your growth, your general physical well-being, your health.
Yes.
You have to be more intentional. And if you were younger, your sleep, you could gamble with your sleep. You could play around, you could do whatever. But as you grow older, you know that, okay, so time I need to sleep, so time I need to rest. If not, otherwise your body breaks down.
Yes, okay, sorry to chip in this. You know that people who are younger eat more, right?
Yes.
Yes. People who are younger eat more, you have ability to eat more food. But you realize that as you're growing older, it's not because your doctor probably said something about your food intake, but you just somehow you can't eat the amount of food you eat anymore.
Yes.
Imagine as a teenager you could eat a big bowl and suddenly you have to divide that into 4
Or
portions.
probably like 5 slices, 6 slices of bread.
Yes.
And you want more.
Yes.
You know.
But now you can't even go past 3 slices anymore. You understand? Then sometimes because you've had experiences, you've read books, you've listened to doctors about, what they say about nutrition and how to focus on the healthy ones, you now begin to do your portion control.
Yes.
So these are parts of growing in stature, things that nurture your physical body.
Some people about weight, some people even go as far as, exercising, lifting weights to build strength.
Yes.
So they can go on with tasks that they couldn't carry on when they were younger, or even to generally look good.
Yes,
And I expected that at this point you should know between good and bad, what is good for you and what's not good for you. And you should have built up strength, physical strength, you should have built up tenacity,
Yes.
etc.
Yes. So another essential aspect of growth that I would like us to talk about, the third one is favor with God. Favor with God, what is there? Favor with God is considered as relationship with God. How far you go. You're supposed to grow because the years are passing, you're having experiences. You're doing things with God, you're doing projects with God, you're having encounters. You're getting corrected, you're getting rebuked and all of that. So you can't you can't operate at the basic level even though the numbers are counting. Okay, in 2020, something happened and I had an encounter with God. I made a decision and God told me this. God was not pleased with that decision that I made, and God corrected me in love. So in 2025, am I supposed to do the same thing? No. It reminds me of, a friend of mine back then. They did something and I was upset. And this person said, when they tried to apologize, oh, you've been with me for a while. Why are you still reacting like this? You're supposed to understand me by now. So this thing is not like it's so overly toxic that I can't handle. So it was something I could compromise on, because you make compromises. The way you make compromises with your siblings, you can do that with your friends too, especially if you know that these people truly love you.
Yeah.
So when they said that, it really struck me. I was humbled. I said, it's true. I'm supposed to understand and know that this person's intentions are not bad. It's just that it's a flaw that they have.
Yes.
So that is how it is with God. And ever since then, things became easier. I could make excuse for that behavior. It's part of how they grew up, so it's not really. So that is how it's supposed to be.
But does that mean, but does that mean that God can excuse some of our behaviors as we relate with Him?
Well,
or gets used to a pattern, a character flaw, and say, oh, just like this person now.
Okay, no, that is not the point I'm making. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, well, the Bible says, you know my frame, you remember that I'm dust. You remember that scripture that says, in Psalms, you know my frame, you remember that I am dust.
And I think David is even someone that we can use as an example for, someone who has favor with God, because I would say he's the most favored.
Yes.
He has this enduring relationship with God.
Yes.
That no matter what, God didn't see his flaws. I think it was his ability to really quickly go back to God and say, I'm sorry, God, I've done this. I think I deviated.
I love the point, because we're talking about favor with God, right? David you could say that David's motives, something about God is motive all the time. God is with motive. There was nothing that David really did that was premeditated. If you look at the Bible, that he plotted and said, oh, for instance, the Uriah's wife plotted and said, I'm going to take on Uriah's wife and kill Uriah at the point. Everything was just happening.
It just happened
spontaneously, like, oh, hey, how do I?
And then so he's quick to go back and say, oh, God, I'm sorry. I am this and that. Forgive me.
Okay, yes. So that's that. So what? That's by the way, right? So go back and but now the point we're making is that it's not that God would excuse behavior and say this. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you should know me by now. That is the point.
Yes.
You should know me by now. You should understand me by now.
Yes.
That this thing I'm doing does not mean I do not love you or care about you.
Yes.
It's just a flaw that I have, or it's just a nature
Yes.
that I have. So when it comes to human friendships or human relationships, we understand people by those kinds of,
And just as human relationship, we grow.
Yes.
We grow in levels.
Yes.
Relationship, friendship can start from oh, come to my house, we go out and all, but then as the year goes by, it progresses.
Yes.
To being, as a matter of fact, ladies call themselves sisters. They say, okay, a friend that's closer than a brother. It's also in the Bible. So as it progresses, it is also expected that our relationship will grow.
Yes,
Progresses. That's why in Christendom, some people set target for themselves, and I admire it. If as at when you got born again, you started relationship with God, you started with some hours prayer and fasting. As the year goes by, you're expected to be able to go for days, waiting on Him, go for deeper level fellowship, spending more time. Some people say, okay, they grow past the taking on a Bible for a year, and they do it multiple times in a year.
Yes.
Some go as far as increasing their offerings.
Yes.
There's love seed that they sow to God. So it's expected that as we grow in relationship with God, or as we have relationship with God,
Yes.
we grow daily, because that's actually the level that God wants. So that takes us to the fourth point. It's favor with man. It's also like the one we earlier mentioned, favor with God. As you grow older, you discover that God brings people your way. Some they come for different purposes. Now, the question is, what are you doing to keep these people in your life? Are you careless about the friendship that God bring your way? Are you always at the, receiving? You are always receiving and taking and not giving back? If you continue like that, people are going to get pissed off. We're not saying that relationship should be transactional now, but then this time around you are more intentional in selecting your friends, and you also water those who water you. I don't think I, for one, if I'm your friend and I'm always the one making the calls, saying okay, let's hang out, and trying to impart also into you, while you on the other hand are just there laid back, I don't think I would like to continue that kind of relationship. So as God bring people our way and they sow into us, we also should in turn sow into them. And let's also pray for the discernment, yes, sensitivity, yes, to the friends that come around. Some are time wasters, but when we see the good ones in the Spirit of God, we know. Yes, we know.
As you're aging, it's expected that when these people come your way, these friends that God, because every time God sends people away, you ask yourself, is this person good for me? Is this person good for my children? Is this person good for my marriage? Is this person good for my career? So you begin to consider, if you're found out, if the answers are yes, these people are good for this, like she said, you pour back. You begin to pour back into these people, what they give to you. For me, if I have an opportunity to do anything for my friends, I go all out. Because God has surrounded me with good people who go extra mile.
Yes.
So I go extra mile. Once they say, can you, no matter how little it is, I try to make sure that they know that I care about them and that I appreciate their friendship. So these are things that if at this age, at this point in your life, you do not have quality people, then you should check yourself, right?
Yes,
that means all these years the numbers have been counting, but you are not growing.
Yes.
You're not growing, because how do you say, oh, I'm 35, I'm 30 this, I'm 40.
And you can't get any quality friend from the university, even from college, from the university, from your workplace.
This is essential.
No business associates is very essential.
This is an aspect that you must not play with. So are you telling me that no way, you didn't make friends from secondary school, you didn't make friends from uni, you didn't make friends at the office, you didn't make friends anywhere, you're just moving solo? No man is an island.
No man is an island.
So you should be able to look at your phone and count 3 people, at least, even if it's 2, to say that these 2 people are people that that God has brought my way, that I'm also a blessing to.
Yes.
This is very important. So if you know that you are this kind of person that you say 0 friend zone, then you have a problem. I'm sorry to say this might hurt you, but you're probably not open to giving, so you're not able to receive, or probably you're not a good friend yourself. Is it safe to say that?
Yeah, well, I won't say not being a good friend. Sometimes it comes from, I think I'll say this from experience, it comes from being probably laid back or not willing to tolerate much. So you can easily give up on friends because they hurt you because of little disagreement. You know, you mentioned earlier about your friend that said, well, you've known me all this, and I was really touched, you know. So some people are not willing to be patient, to go extra mile, to forgive,
to give grace,
to give
to
grace,
people, because humans are flawed. Maybe the people you hastily judge and give up on are probably just having a bad day.
Yes.
So just
or they probably didn't know better.
They didn't know better, yes.
So.
But sometimes some people are just having a rough time, and then just one extra chance you give them, discover that there's an incredible person that will just
who could pass for your children's godmother, your children's mentor, or even a business associate, or someone who would bring that connection that will change your life. Yes,
financially.
So please let us extend grace in friendship. I'm saying this from experience now. Let us be more patient. Let us be more kind and more tolerant towards the people that God bring our way.
Yes.
You know, and I'm sure we'll be in a better place.
Yes. Not every person that kept malice with you is a bad person.
Not everybody
so
is
maybe that's the best way to handle the situation at the time. Not everybody that even blocks you is a bad person. Sometimes that block that is how they could contain their emotion. You know,
not everybody is jealous of you. Nobody wants whatever
not
you
everyone
have.
Is a hater.
Not everyone is a hater because this generation. Okay, well, we're not talking to this generation now, but because this generation they are quick to sentence. You know, this one be gone, be gone. And if you continue like that, you're not going to
extend grace.
Extend grace. You would like it. You should have a friend. You should have people because they are like a stepping stone. You know, these relationships, people that God have brought away, they are like stepping stones to your next level.
Yes. Awesome. So that's that about favor with man rights.
Yes.
I hope we have dwelt a lot on that. So now I want to ask a question. So these are essentials, right? We have listed the 4 pillars or essential aspects of growth that is expected as you're aging. So how about people who have not accepted this growth? They have not marked this alongside the numbers. So every year their birthdays are going on and all of that, but they have not. So what are the dangers? What are the disadvantages that come with this?
I would say isolation. Okay, it leads to, if you have not experienced growth, somehow you will tend to shy away from people. You tend to, hide because one, these people have, gone way past your level.
Okay.
Yes. So how do you know that? You see their visible growth, and then at the end of the day, when you go close to them, you discover that you no longer, your discussion no longer align. They no longer align. Your dreams, your visions no longer align. As a matter of fact, because they have improved in wisdom, in stature, and all round, you can't even communicate at the same level. You may just be dwelling on, because primary school level, primary school, secondary school level. So that's where your level. That's what you can communicate. Gossip, probably talk about 1 or 2 people. Meanwhile, these people have gone way past that.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, when you try 1, 2, 3 times and you feel that this person, you can just tend to start withdrawing and saying that they've passed like that.
Wait, truly, who even would be able to stand you repeating conversations over and over? I know that you and when it comes to your siblings or your best friends, you can relive things from the past and laugh about it. But imagine someone who is not in the same. Every time you come, you say, imagine Mr. Sister Percy that said this and laugh. I don't think there's actually anyone that will be able to have enough patience to take all of that. So
yes. Nobody has time for that.
Yes, so that means the isolation is not really intentional.
No, it's not.
Just that it's something, it's inevitable.
It's inevitable.
Right.
It's like a response
to where you are.
Condition, your present condition. So it's
Because somehow, by fate or by destiny or by the choices the unprogressive person has made, the person has refused or has been unable to go past how you knew them several years ago.
Yeah, so isolation is like a natural response to the level that they're at.
Yes, it's a natural response. So it's not that these people want to snub you because you do not have money. As people often like to say, because I don't have money, nobody talks to me. I come to the group. Okay, now that group chats are popular, maybe from university group, secondary school alumni group, and all of those groups. So you come there, we see people crash out every day. They have this outburst like, I'm saying hi, nobody's talking to me. Who wants to talk about the Okpanzobo woman that was at so hostel back then? Like, it's fine to talk about it one time and everybody laughs and relieves memories.
Yes.
But then it becomes a recurring thing.
Yes, and then you come on a Monday morning. Or, random on a weekday when people are working.
SS2B fallout, and nobody answers you because these people are probably at work, at conferences, they are attending to one thing or the other, building their businesses. You're expecting them to come back to the WhatsApp group to come and answer SS2B.
Nobody has no time.
And then you begin to crash out and say, so you feel isolated because at that point you do not have anything you're doing, you're bored, you feel lonely, you feel tired. Next Monday you come again and something like that still comes up like, oh, who is this? And then people are not responding because they have gone past it. I personally do not want to go back revisiting old gist. In fact, when I have friends that keep repeating the same thing, like, oh, do you remember they see you, oh, annoying, you remember that time, that stories you've told me from, like, you've been telling me for years. So now at this level, we do not have anything to talk about anymore. People want relationships they want mutual inspiration.
Yes, they want mutual. They want progressive relationship.
People that will help them in their careers as they're going for conference. They want to network. There's a time for networking. Let's network and build new people. If you're even a pastor, for instance, you're not someone who is doing business, you're just a pastor, and then you want to go to conference and meet other pastors that would help your ministry grow.
Yes.
And then you want to go back to people, your friends that who have nothing to say other than what happened many years ago. Nobody is interested in that actually. So that is one of the things that lead to isolation. So it is inevitable. That is the danger. Yeah.
Yes, and it leads to resentment. So it leads to resentment because after struggling and dwelling at that level for a long time, because of the response you get from people, you begin to start probably hating on them.
And because you say, because I don't have money, you are not feeling. So
if care is not taking, you may even start wishing that we'll see. If someone just talks to you naturally, you feel it's because
you read meanings,
you read meanings to things unnecessarily.
And that's where being a nuisance comes in.
Yes.
Someone who is not progressive also becomes, apart from being isolated, you become a nuisance.
Yes.
Because you're confrontational. Things that were not even meant to attack you, you feel you're attacked. Oh, because I don't have money.
Yes.
Because I'm here. This is why you're saying this. Oh, so your friend comes, instead of to be inspired by the road, maybe they drive a car to your reunion, it becomes like show off.
And instead of you now, because you are at that, you meet with people who have progressed, who have done well for themselves, you can't, because you have refused to grow in wisdom and otherwise, your thinking is limited. Rather than trying to see how you can forge ahead, how they can help you forge ahead, you are limited. You ask for probably peanuts. In some cases, you ask for peanuts. You ask for handouts. And imagine asking for handouts over and over
from
no matter who you
can elevate your life.
Can elevate you before you know. They block you.
Blocked.
When they see this person is not a serious person.
But imagine a one-time communication, intentional communication, meeting that will
because life can happen, of course. There are some people that sincerely, it is because something happened. It's fate that has made them, not because they didn't work hard, not because they were not intentional, but somehow life. So, but then don't just be at that level. still strive, because one day anything can happen. You know, anything can happen. So be intentional with your conversation. When you are with people, when you find yourself among people who can help, among people who have progressed in wisdom, people who have blessed with relationships.
Yes.
You know, because this person can tell this person and this person, you know, they can give you that connection.
Yes.
You know, that
someone knows someone that knows someone that knows someone. Yes. Even in my university group, I've seen job opportunities. A lot of people are grateful. A friend of ours recently became like a manager of a big hotel, and then he's asking who's willing to come, who's willing to come. There's an opening, and a few people have been able to benefit from it.
And I'm sure there are some that are there doing.
Yes, and
know
saying, why do you keep coming to the group?
Yes.
Because at this level now, they are frustrated. They have become like, they have low self-esteem.
They'll call you show off. They'll call that kind gesture show off.
Show off. Yes.
They'll say he's showing off because he has money, because his place. It's only him that has. This is why it's only him that comes out.
Yes.
So
today, at this point, I think we can conclude, right? Christian. We said that if you're growing if you're aging, you're supposed to grow in these 4 essential parts. So because we have the spirit of excellence, the book of Luke chapter 2 verse 52 is a reality. We're supposed to be like Jesus Christ, grow in wisdom, grow in stature, grow in favor with God, and then favor with man. Yes, so this is a must. But if you're at the basic level, right, at the 0 level right now, you do not have anything, you're frustrated, you're struggling, then you can start with 1. You can say, okay, since it's hard for me, I'm at this point, I do not even know where to begin. Then you can start with wisdom. You've had several experiences in the past years.
I would even say you should start with favor with God.
Favor with
because
God.
it starts with Him and ends with Him. It's the ultimate.
Yes,
go back to the drawing board and
connect yourself back and say, God, how do I go from here? So you start from there you begin to work on the other aspects of your life. And I tell you that in the next 1 year, you're going to notice an incredible change. Also, friends too, you ask God, I don't know what to do with friends anymore. How do I begin? You'll start new relationships your way.
Wherever you are,
yes.
No matter what, He'll send you someone that is for you, that will hold your hands and you guys will join together.
But then don't forget this, all 4 parts are essential, but you can start with 1.
Yes.
You must make something work, at least something must work.
If you're seeing this, that means you watched our video to the end. Yay! Thank you so much. Please don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment to encourage us. And also remember to subscribe so that you can follow us on our journey. Bye! I would say I was truly touched.
When it comes to that wisdom, right, I have real life experiences. You know, people just look at me and say, how long have you been here? You've experienced everything.
Yes.
I've experienced everything. You know that back then, when I was in my mid-20s, if someone brought relationship matter to me, to say my boyfriend is doing this, I was a nervous person. But it's so amazing to see that now. I want to look at it logically, what is treatment is, what is that, and everything other chance. So that wisdom aspect, truly. So truly, I think they're the same things. We get wiser as we grow, except in some cases, some people have remained on water. They are 40, 42 in age, but 10 in mind. No renewal of mind. No renewal of mind. Yes.
And this person know how old she is or he is. You know, it's funny for them. Thank God. Yes, that's what we are.
Dust off the doubt, leave it behind. You've got the proof running through your mind. Feel that pull inside. Don't let it fade. The whole world waits for the move you make. Just wake up and shine. This is your time to shine. Get back up if you're tired. Stand tall. One small spark can turn